with Sue Franke. She is our licensed clinical social worker. Is it clinical social worker?
Yes.
Here at Green Spring. And it's fun to be sitting here with you because Sue and I go way back. Years and years ago, she knew me when I was 10 years old singing in our church play. And then I moved off and 25 years later came back to work at Green Spring, and here I am sitting with Sue Franke. So
it's so interesting. It's such a small world.
It really is.
And you find that in so many different facets, how once you strike up a conversation, you realize that somehow your lives interacted or intercepted at some other point in time. So,
absolutely.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah,
and as soon as I heard the name and someone said you played music, I was like, wait a minute, yeah.
I got that connection in there somewhere.
Yeah,
Yep.
It's cool. It kind of feels like I've come home.
Yeah. That Franke family trio quartet sort of lives on. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just funny because I remember my image of, your kids are, the last time I left. So it's weird to think that they're my age because in my mind, I still see them as 10 years old too.
That's right.
But, but I haven't met them yet. Hopefully maybe this Christmas for your shindig.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough about that. We're going to talk about today about fall prevention.
Yes.
Slip prevention, and just a couple questions, I've come down. And for our residents and people who might be watching on YouTube, could you just let the audience know what you do here, what your role is?
I am the lead resident services coordinator. There are 3 of us. As a social worker, I am here as a resource for both family and residents. I myself have a great interest in preventing falls. It's something that I have done a lot of I've looked up a lot of information. At one point, just was part of a task force that we had here in terms of preventing falls. So it's something that I have been very instrumental in just keeping up with in terms of information. There's also every month a tip about preventing falls that I put on the bulletin boards. So for any resident that's here at Green Spring, please make a point of looking on the bulletin boards. Just some helpful reminders in terms of making sure that you're doing what you can to help prevent falls.
Sure, absolutely. Very cool. And so I guess my next question would be, let's jump right into it. So a resident, has a slip and fall. What happens when they pull that cord? Security comes and
ultimately, when they're in their apartment, if they're able to get to their pull cord, security comes, and security does try to respond 3 to 5 minutes. They're here everywhere on campus, and from everything that I've heard residents say that have had a pull cord situation, security is just fabulous. They have the best resources to be able to help residents get up. They're very well versed in making sure that somebody is not injuring themselves by getting up. And that brings up a good point that we can sort of start with. When you're in your apartment, there are only pull cords in the bedroom and in the bathroom.
Okay.
Sometimes, even in the bedroom or the bathroom, you're not able to get to the pull cord. So one of the other resources that we have at Green Spring is what's called an emergency pendant. It used to be called a press alert. An emergency pendant, it's something that you wear around your neck. You can wear it in the shower. You can keep it on 24 hours a day. That if you should find yourself on the floor, you don't have to figure out how to crawl or scoot on your bottom or yell or try some other measure. You can push the button in this emergency pendant and get security as quickly as your pull cord might get them.
Okay.
So it's something that for residents that live in an apartment alone, I recommend it highly as a protective measure, sort of that insurance that if something should happen. It's also now good all over campus, so anywhere within the fenced community, residents security can determine where they are in the community. So it's really a good resource that we have.
So it's kind of like that life alert thing you see on TV. It's kind of like a cheesy infomercial, but it's kind of a similar thing. They press the button and like a GPS tracker, sends a signal and they know their exact location.
It is. Yep.
Very cool.
But the nice part about our emergency pendant is it alerts security so that you can have somebody there with you in that short period of time, whereas the life alert may not be quite so quick.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And the green spring, what do you call it? The
Emergency pendant.
Emergency pendant. That only works on campus.
It does.
Okay.
It does. But usually when residents are off campus, they're with other people. And so
Sure.
when you're with other people, then you have the resources to be able to get the help.
Absolutely.
So
Safety in numbers.
safety in numbers. Yep.
Very
yep.
cool. So I think you were going to talk today a little bit about how to, some prevention tips from, making it so you don't have to pull the security cord.
Exactly. So how do we keep ourselves from not falling so we don't even have to worry about it? And, ultimately, falls are going to happen. Many of them are accidental. You don't intend to fall, it happens. But there are a lot of preventive measures that you can take to do whatever you can to help prevent them. I think one of the biggest resources that we all have is to stay active.
Absolutely.
And that is one of the most proven. They've done many studies and research on how to prevent falls, because it is a very difficult situation, and it could be life-threatening. So staying active, and that's the beauty of Green Spring. We have the fitness center, we have the pool, we have all of the different classes that the fitness center holds. You here at the TV station, on the TV every morning, you have these fitness classes where you can do it just right in the comfort of your own home.
Yeah.
And they've even done some new ones recently. They seem pretty exciting.
Yeah, we've got some new ones rolling out here soon. So
yeah, so all of that can help stay active. The other resource we have is we have outpatient physical therapy. So if you're feeling that maybe your walking is not quite as strong, or you're feeling a little dizzy, or just a little unstable, your balance is not quite right, talk to your doctor about getting an order for some physical therapy just to help with that stabilization. And your doctor is another really good resource. So when you're at the doctor's, please make sure to let them know if you've had any slips, anything that you feel is like a fall, or if there's anything that you're feeling might put you at risk for falls. But then also talk to the doctor about any medications that you're taking as to the risks in terms of falls, or especially a new medication. Will this put me at risk for fall? Might I have to be careful?
I think too, like with regards to medication, a lot of times, I think it sounds like a no-brainer that, you read the bottle and understand the side effects for some of the medications. But I think something I've experienced with my own grandmother is, oftentimes in continuing care facilities, or, people are going to deal with grief in some way, shape, or form. And so she was prescribed Xanax to help her sleep after my grandpa died. Mm-hmm. So she didn't really ask she wasn't that great at asking the right questions, but she kept, kind of falling asleep in her chair, and then, get dark out and she couldn't see, and she'd start moving around the apartment and all the lights were out, and she'd fall and hurt herself. Mm-hmm. She didn't know that the Xanax, it calms you down, but it kind of knocks you out.
Yes.
So I think that's something, a lot of times to be aware of here.
Yeah. And that brings up another really good point. Vision and light. Mm-hmm. As we get older, our eyes let in less light. They, just like the rest of our body, they sort of get tired and they don't work quite as well. So two facets. One is to make sure that you're getting your vision checked, just so that you're using the optimal vision, but also in your apartment to make sure that you have well-lit paths, especially at night.
Yeah.
When you get up in the middle of the night. So they do have motion-activated lights. Check into that, or some good night lights, or a light by your bed that you can turn on rather easily. So thinking about that, because the low light really does put you at risk for a fall in that way.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, if installation is an issue, General Services is there to provide that service. So if you see something, online or Home Depot or in a catalog, and you see something like a hall light or, some kind of device that requires installation, they can call General Services and have them come install that for them. They don't have to worry about that, right?
Absolutely. Okay. Yes. Yeah.
So there's really no reason not to make that purchase. And if you live in an apartment that might need a little extra light,
right. Right. No, they can help with the installation. Another really good resource we have here is at the outpatient physical therapy, we have occupational therapists that can come into the apartment to do what they call a home safety evaluation. Okay. Medicare will cover one a year.
Oh, really?
For anybody out there in the community to just take a look through your apartment to see what might put you at risk for a fall. So a home safety evaluation, when you're at your doctor's the next time, if you feel that might be helpful, definitely ask to see if they would put in a referral for that, because it could be helpful. We had also talked a little bit prior to going on the air about the showers and the slipping in the shower. So all of our showers and bathtubs now sort of have a pebbly surface on them, just a little bit of a rough surface, so that it doesn't make bath mats really feasible in there.
Okay.
So I think one of the beneficial resources that residents have are the chairs, the chairs that you can put in the shower. And then also to have a handheld shower head so that you don't have to worry about standing up to be able to reach the water, that you can actually sit down and then just have it right in your hand so that you can make sure to get all the soap off.
Absolutely, and they sell those shower chairs right at CVS. I don't think for very much either. I mean, they're really easy to get your hands on.
CVS, Walmart, Amazon, you can find them pretty much everywhere. So they're really a good resource in your apartment.
Very cool. And so you were talking about are the floors kind of like a non-slip type of floor? Is that what, because I know there are other facilities where they don't allow you to have like floor rugs because of the slip hazard. So are the bathroom floors, you said they're like a pebbly? Are they kind of textured differently? Or?
That would be the bathtub, or the shower is sort of a rough surface.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Okay. The recommendation is to have a rug in the bathroom, I think, to help with any types of water spills that might occur that would soak it up rather than create a wet floor. So I think a bath rug with that rubber bottom on it so it doesn't slip is really highly recommended. But just being careful of wet floors in the bathroom, in the kitchen, making sure that when you're in your apartment, if you see or have something wet on the floor, that you make sure it gets wiped up quickly, because again, that can be slippery and put you at risk for a fall in that way too.
Absolutely.
As can rugs on top of rugs. There are many residents that really have rugs that they don't want to do away with. They really would like to keep, and that's fine. Just make sure you have double stick tape so that the rug doesn't travel, so it stays put and the edges stay down, which can help.
And did you say there's somebody at Green Spring that will come in and help, like, assess, or like an occupational therapist? Are they at Green Spring, or is that something that they come from outside, or?
They are at Green Spring.
Oh,
so
okay.
we do have staff here as part of our outpatient physical therapy department that can come do that assessment in the home.
Oh, wonderful.
It takes a doctor's order.
Okay.
So, but either your social worker can help you with that referral, or when you're at the doctor's, if you talk to them there, you can get that referral from them there.
Now, say a lot of people are downsizing when they come in here, and so say somebody comes in, they move all their stuff in, and they say, "Gee, look at all this, stuff I have. Like, what am I going to do with it?" Who would they call? Could they call you? They say, "Hey, I need help. I really need to clear some of this stuff out of here." It's a,
Well, there are people to be able to help with, so definitely they can come to their social worker, and the Sales and Information Office also has a number of different resources to help with that decluttering, and that's some of the information they give, especially to new residents as they're coming in.
Okay.
But that brings up a good point in terms of definitely keeping those clear pathways.
Sure.
Because if you have something in the way, you can catch your foot on it, you can trip over it. So making sure that you pick up things that have fallen or don't put shoes in the way, so that you do have those clear pathways, which can keep you from tripping over them.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I mean, the downsizing is hard, but that's what grandkids are for, right? So happy to help offload some of that.
Yeah.
So, well, it looks like we're just about out of time. Was there anything else you want to put out there for the residents?
The other piece I just wanted to just touch on is shoes.
Shoes, okay.
It has been proven and shown that wearing shoes is most helpful because the shoes sort of balance your foot out. That being said, make sure that the shoes are well-fitting. In the summertime, they really encourage your shoe to have a full back on it. Some of these sandals without the backs, they definitely put you at risk. Flip-flops,
Disaster's waiting to happen.
Yeah, they leave your toes a little bit vulnerable out there. So that's something else to think about. But there are, it's just as you go through your day, as you think about different things, just be mindful of where some of your risks might be, and do what you can on a regular basis to help yourself. And one of those things may be at times having an assistive device, using a rollator when you're feeling just a little bit more tired, not quite feeling stable one day, a little bit, your balance is a little off. Use it for your own protection. Be proactive in terms of preventing those falls.
Definitely. That's great advice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sue. This has been Sue Franke. You can find her here in Village Square, and we will be right back. Thanks for watching.